I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Hey everybody, my name is Paul Ashton Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. We had this guy on a couple of years ago. It's time to bring him back. You might know him as a longtime NFL wide receiver, a New York Jets legend, and now a head football coach at Limestone University. Let's bring him in, Coach Cotchery. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great, man. I'm glad to be on.
Well, let me ask you that because, you coaching is not new. You've been doing that the last couple of years, but a head coach running the whole operation yourself, how has it been for you, Coach Cotchery?
Things have been going smoothly. I have a really good staff, have great support here at the university. The kids are hungry. They're eager to learn, eager to grow. And so everything is going smoothly for me. And so I'm excited about this season ahead.
Is this always something you knew you were playing and you're like, I had to give more back to the game. I knew that there was another path and coaching was always it? Or is this something that sort of surprised you in, I use the term retired life, as you pivoted here and it got into coaching? Is that something you always knew you were going to do, or is that something that just sort of happened?
Well, I always felt like I was going to play and then coach when I was done. Just always felt like that. I always saw the game from that perspective, from the coach's side of it, and just try to always, learn it from their side, see it from their side, and not make their jobs more difficult than it already is. And the coaches always appreciated that throughout the years. And now I get to be on this side of it and really just try to invest in the kids as much as I can in order to help them achieve their goals. And so that involves that being personally and professionally as well.
Coach, before you became a head coach, most recently, you were a positional coach. And some people, when they get into the coaching world, I've been talking about this, I'm here at my radio station, that we've been talking about this, that sometimes people want to get into coaching and they just want to do their job. I'm going to be just a wide receivers coach. That's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, and I'm comfortable in that role. You decided, no, that ain't enough. Coach Cotchery had to run the whole gosh darn ship. Is that something also that you knew you wanted to do, that you wanted to put your fingerprints, you wanted to put your imprint on an entire organization, entire school, an entire university? Is that something you always felt passionate about?
Yeah, I always felt passionate about being able to lead a group. Been around a lot of great coaches throughout my football life. That starts from Pop Warner all the way up until the conclusion of my NFL career as a player, but also just being hired by Ron Rivera, as a coach coming out of retirement as a player. Was just been around a lot of good people, and I'm really appreciative of all of the people I had the opportunity to cross paths with, and I just try to apply all of the things that I've been learning from them throughout the years, and it's been serving me well. It's been serving me well in the role that I'm in right now, but I got a lot of work ahead of me.
Do you have a new perspective? You were a player, and then you were in your new life after playing, and then ultimately got into coaching. But do you have a new perspective now that you are head coach on other people? We love yelling from our couch, geez, what was up with that decision or that choice or this, up, down, or the other? Now that you're actually in that seat, do you look at things differently?
Well, I think I look at it more so differently because of the position that I came from as a position coach now to this role. As a player coming into coaching, it didn't feel that much different. It just felt like, I'm on the sideline. I used to be able to do something about it, but now I can't do anything about it. But now, as a head coach, I think that there was a big shift in that, right? There's a lot of things that are on your plate, a lot of things that you aren't even aware of as a position coach. And that's because the head coach is taking care of a lot of things and not putting more on the position coach's plates than they need. And so the shift there from position coach to head coach is the one that opened up my eyes.
Yeah, I sometimes hear that for people that make that jump. Again, we're speaking here with Jerricho Cotchery, he's the head coach of Limestone University, a longtime NFL player, Jets legend. And I'm interested here, Coach, that when I watched your playing career, I didn't know you as much of a yeller, that you were like, barking at people. Is that at all have you been saving it for your coaching career? Is that where you are? Are you still a more reserved guy and that, you don't have to be the loudest guy in the room?
Yeah, I'm still more reserved. That's who I am by personality. But if I need to say something, I say it. My kids know that. My family know that.
Yeah.
And the players here know that. If I have to raise my voice, then that we're not working the way that we need to be working. And but at the end of the day, for me, it's just about honest communication with the guys, truthful communication. They're just trying to get better, and so we want to be able to get that feedback to them on a day in and day out basis, right? Just acknowledge reality, as coaches, as players, and we just tell them, hey, if that day wasn't good enough, we got to be honest with them and tell them it wasn't good enough, so that we can work to get better.
Coach, last week you had a wonderful fundraiser for people that are supporting, again, your program. You were, again, the head coach at Limestone University, and you had a wonderful fundraiser, but there are more people, I'm sure, that would love to support you in your program. In the YouTube description down below, we do have a direct link that people can click and designate their donation to the football team. First off, is there any more you can say about that? And what is your pitch to people that want to support, again, Coach, I got to get used to that one, Coach Cotchery here in your football program?
Really, it's for me, it's about the essence of coaching. It's about investing in the kids, right? And so for me, I want to do everything, possible to try to make to give them every resource available, right, to succeed on the field, that they won't have to worry about anything else but succeeding in the classroom and on the field. And this will give them a great opportunity to do that. And just any way that you can support, please do. Facilities, travel, meals, all of those things. It goes to all of those things to help our guys, just have a good season without focusing on outside things.
Again, we're speaking with head coach Jerricho Cotchery here. And again, that direct link is down below if you'd like to help out the program, and you absolutely should. Coach, let's also get into some other topics of conversation. And I've said it on a previous intro that I no longer use, but on a previous intro, I talked about you being one of my favorite New York Jets of all time. You just brought that mentality, that toughness. I mean, shoot, if you have any player like that in your university, they're doing pretty gosh darn good on that football squad of yours. But is there anyone in the National Football League? It doesn't have to be a Jets player. If it is, great. But is there a player that reminds you of yourself that you see in the league today?
Oh, wow. I mean, that's a good one. I mean, the guys nowadays, man, they play good, tough football, man. I mean, there are so many guys that are out there that are willing to do the dirty work, that want to keep the chains moving. That want to be, there for their teammates along the way, man. There's so many guys out there, and I just enjoy watching the good football altogether. I just think defensively, just it's hard to get away from the Birmingham guys, man, that we have on the Jets roster, man. They know how to play football, the Williams brothers.
Yes.
And I just love the way that they represent, the city of Birmingham. I'm a Birmingham native, and they'll tell you they were at one of my football camps back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm really excited about those guys. I'm really excited that they're doing it for the New York Jets. And so I'm just looking forward to watching them this year as well.
Will there be good football, Jerricho? It's been a long damn time, Jerricho, since we've seen this team in the gosh darn playoffs, for Pete's sake. And there are massive expectations on this team. What do you make of the ball club this year?
I really like this ball club. And it all starts with the health of Aaron Rodgers, discount double check man here. And I'm just looking forward to just watching them compete. They have the weapons on offense. They have the right guy behind center. And Breece Hall is a stud, man. You can hand it off to him whenever you want, and he's a touchdown waiting to happen. So I love what they're doing there right now, and I'm excited about the year. I think everybody should be excited about the year, not have any trepidation about what happened last year and all of that stuff. There, let's just focus on this year and watching the Jets perform. The defense is going to be what they are, and that's exciting as well. So really, really looking forward to this year. I'm glad Coach Saleh is still in place there. Really like him as a man and as a coach. And so I think everyone should be excited about this year ahead.
And what about Garrett Wilson? He seems like a wildly talented young man that, unfortunately, because of the quarterback play around him, he hasn't been able to show the rest of the world how good he is. It seems like he could do that this year with Aaron Rodgers. From wide receiver to wide receiver, what do you make of Garrett Wilson?
Well, he is a he is a handful to deal with, and it's just route running ability. He goes up and attacks the ball. All right, his run after the catch is out of this world. I mean, he's everything you would want in a receiver, right? He understands route running. He understands how to move defenders. He understands open space. He has a good feel for the game altogether, and it's fun watching him play. He is an absolute stud, man. And so I'm looking forward to watching him, in a full year with Aaron Rodgers, and people still know how good he is, even though, he hasn't had, just good consistency there at the quarterback play, but people still know how good he is. And so, yeah, I know he's looking forward to this year as well, but yeah, he is an absolute handful to deal with.
How important is it to have other guys around you? Us as Jet fans always remember the flight crew and the depth of that unit. You're like, we could go to a couple of different guys. Like Garrett, it was a struggle last year because it didn't seem like there was, for lack of a better term, a Robin to his Batman. So defenses were able to focus in on him. This year, you got guys like Mike Williams and others. But before we get into any individual of those guys, but how important is it for a guy to have another guy, a teammate, another person that can draw away attention on offense?
Yeah, that's big. Anytime you got like a one-on-one guy like Garrett Wilson, he wins those one-on-one matchups. You can put him on the backside, right, and get him singled up with guys. If you just have one guy like that, then typically what you do, you just roll the coverage to his side, and take him out of the game, and then you'll see what the rest of the guys do. But when you have, guys around you that can take that load off of you, it makes it really, really difficult, for defenses. And so that's what they've done. They put pieces around them as well, and not just sidekicks. These are guys that can roll, that can play. Mike Williams is a stud. He demands attention himself, and so that's going to present a lot of challenges to defenses this year.
Jerricho, is it important to have, a different guys? I've heard people describe wide receiver rooms as sometimes like having a basketball team, a short, shifty guy, a big power forward, which you could certainly describe a guy like Mike Williams. Or do you not necessarily have to have that? Like, for instance, 3 or 4 Garrett Wilson sounds pretty good to me, even if they do some of the same things. Do you need variety in the diet at the wide receiver position?
Well, I like variety. Sometimes it's just philosophy with guys. Some guys just like their big, tall guys. Back in the day, San Diego had, all of the big, tall guys. Malcolm Floyd, Vincent Jackson, and everyone. They had all of the trees back there. But I do like a variety. And I think it's just philosophy. But I do think you present a lot of challenges to guys when you have that variety, right? You have a guy that can come in, his job is just to move the chains, and he comes in, embraces that role, and he gets it done for you on that end. And then you have another guy that's a big body type guy that's gonna, be a red zone challenge. And win what you would think are 50-50 balls, but that's a higher percentage with that type of guy. I like the variety.
What's the secret sauce to building chemistry? Because Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers seemed like things are going really well last year in training camp, but then, of course, unfortunately, a devastating injury. Garrett Wilson's not able to build that. Now, this year, same sort of thing. Things have been bubbling here in the offseason. What is the key to building that chemistry? Is it as simple as reps are going to get you there, or what else can help that relationship where, again, I remember you and some Jets quarterbacks in the past, it's almost a look. You look down, oh, okay, I know exactly what page we're operating on, what he wants from me, and vice versa.
Yeah, you're talking reps and you're talking communication. The communication has to be there. You have to know what the QB is thinking, what the QB likes, what he doesn't like. And the QB has to know what the receiver likes and what he doesn't like, right? And what he's thinking when he sees certain things on film or what happened, in that particular game. And so that constant communication, right? You get a good feel for each other, and you start to know what each other is thinking because you've already communicated that out, And I think Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, they have a great rapport on that end there. You see them always communicating, but great quarterbacks always communicate well with their receivers, right? The great ones do, and so that's why you see chemistry develop faster, than you would typically see, with those guys. And so Ben Roethlisberger was a great communicator, right? He was one of those guys that always communicated, and so any guy that was in there with him, you saw that. It was going to be a guy that had chemistry with him.
I wish he was a little less of a communicator in that second AFC Championship game. That on that third down play, I was hoping, not as intrusive there. Maybe that could have helped us Jets out go to the Super Bowl. But
yeah, me too. Right? I had to hear about that when I went over there. Yeah. All I had to communicate with them is that they didn't win it. So
that's right. That's for sure. No doubt about it here. Again, we're speaking with head coach Jerricho Cotchery of Limestone University here on the show. Coach, did you see at all it went viral in a lot of places, Aaron Rodgers' passionate conversations with Garrett Wilson at training camp on the sideline? As a fellow receiver, is that just a standard operating procedure? A lot of people seem to make a lot of that with some of their heated or whatever word you'd like to use for their passionate communication after plays and really getting into it with one another.
Yeah, I didn't make much of it at all. I think, conflict is an opportunity for unity there, for growth. In your relationship with the QB. And so, if he didn't like something, if it goes back to that communication, right? If he didn't like something, or Aaron Rodgers didn't like something in that particular way, or some frustration is being communicated, right? They communicate it out then in that moment, and then later they're speaking about it and they watch it on tape, then they can reach a conclusion there. So I didn't make much of it at all, and I also saw other clips where he said, "Hey, just run by him," and then you see them catch a touchdown there, and they're celebrating after that, So I think that conflict there, provides a great opportunity for them to grow closer.
How much of that is in the game? Because you're referencing there was a Jets-Giants joint practice where Aaron Rodgers said, "Hey, G, it was a Jets-Giants joint practice." He said, just run by his ass. I'm going to throw you a football." And he's like, "Okay." And he runs an 80-yard touchdown, and they're celebrating after the play. Like, is there a little bit of that backyard football in there? You just kind of look at the situation, say, "All right, we're gonna call it right now. Let's call a quick audible at this line of scrimmage. I'm seeing something, you're seeing something. Let's just go to town."
Well, when you also have to develop chemistry with the OC, with the offensive coordinator and the coaches on staff, right? They have to be able to trust you as well. And so in those moments, they trust that you guys have worked at it, that you guys have studied and prepared, for those situations, and you see something in that moment, right? And you make that adjustment. The coaches are all for it in that moment because you've actually communicated that out with them, and so it looks like they have a lot of that going on right now, and that's really fun, especially when you get into those tight moments.
And going back to Garrett Wilson for a moment, we have you for a few more minutes here. Head coach Jerricho Cotchery here on the show. Again, the direct link down below is how you guys can designate your donation to help Coach Cotchery and his program as they're continuing to build and develop this thing. On Garrett Wilson, one of his superpowers, for lack of a better word, is he's got a lot of wiggle. He's got a basketball background. He does the crossover dribbles and things of that nature. If you really watch some of the tape, you can kind of see some of that on his get off and how he creates separation. But Rodgers, I've seen in some of the instances, have been like, "Man, there's too much juice going on." And he said, and it was kind of funny. I laughed to myself. He's like, "It's sometimes hard to throw him the ball because, so I'm trying to figure out. He's almost juking me out as I'm throwing him the football." So, is there a part of that you can channel, but you also don't want to take it away from him because obviously that's what makes Garrett Wilson special?
Yeah, that's one of my first things I do with receivers when I train them. I said, "All right, day one, I'm gonna take your sauce away from you. All right, we're gonna work on fundamental stuff, right? And then I'll give you sauce back later once we're fundamentally sound. There is a balance there, but in the NFL, man, that's why I tell guys on this level, on the collegiate level, right? There's not that much time. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
There's only so much time you have back there, and so it's not a fun moment when the QB is standing back there and he's waiting for the guy to create his separation. All of that stuff has to happen fast for him. But you can pick your spots when you can do that, right? And so just finding that balance there, is key. Finding the balance there is key. But also you have a little leeway though when you're the number one receiver, right? So when you're the first option, and so not the second and third option, we don't have a lot of time for you to dance at all. Right.
That's right.
When I come over this first read, you need to be in your right spot, right? So, but when you're the first option, right, we can hang on that a little bit longer, back foot or whatever, to wait for you to create the separation. And so, he does have leeway, but you do have to pick your spots.
Coach, this is probably a weird question to answer. You probably don't have an answer for it, but I want to start it here. Do you know how long you plan on coaching?
Man, however long, man, the Lord has me. I'm really set on just investing in the guys, seeing them accomplish their goals, personally as men, as football players, really academically in the classroom, and just translating all of that from the classroom to the field. You'll always be students. You won't always be athletes. Just communicating those things to the guys in that way. And so I'm really excited and passionate about those things. And so however long the Lord has me in it, that's how long I'm going to do it, and so I'm just enjoying every moment right now.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something. I need you to be honest with me, Coach. Whether you are looking forward to this or you're going to hate this, at some point, you may have a player in your coaching career that goes, wait, you played? That you're just recognized as Coach Cotchery. Oh, wow, you played back in the day? Nice. Because right now, as far as I can see, Coach Cotchery, you could line up today, slap on the 89 on the back. You could be heading back out there for the New York Jets. So do you look forward to that moment when a player asks you that? Or you're going to be like, boy, here we go. Because that's what I get. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. coming to the league, I'm like, oh, I feel old. I remember old Marvin Harrison Sr. here in Syracuse, for Pete's sake.
It's a humbling thing, man. I have a guy on the team that was born in 2007.
Oh.
Okay,
Wow.
So yeah. There isn't any running away from it for me. I know I'm old at this point, man. I see a guy born in 2007, man. That's that's a really young fellow, man. 17 years old on campus, man. And so all of that is refreshing. All of that is refreshing. Okay. It's if a guy doesn't know that I played and he's cherishing, my ability to communicate, what I'm trying to communicate to him from, a football standpoint, and he doesn't know any of those things. I mean, that's awesome. And then you add that layer to it, man, that adds even more, so, that I embrace it. I embrace it all.
Okay, well, your 2007 is still better than mine right now, because I have interns. I train them here at the radio station, and I was telling them to do something like, hey, can you just, you see that app on the computer? Yeah, click the floppy disk. And they were like, the what? I'm like, yeah. And then it hit me. I'm like, oh, good
no.
Lord. I went, wow. All right, never mind. I'll just do it. But yes. So here we are, Coach. We're just getting old. I guess that's just the plain and simple truth. But you still look incredibly young, Coach, and I love what you're doing for this program, this university. Another chance, of course, to plug everything you've got going on. You seem like you have a wonderful staff, and again, being a head football coach, baby, the top rung. This is no doubt about it. Cotchery's operation.
Oh man, it's been a pleasure being on, man. It's exciting to be in the role that I'm in. I have a really good staff here. These guys are awesome. Great support here at the university all together. It's a special place to be. Everybody feels that when they come down here, and the players are just phenomenal. And so that's what that's what I'm about here, just trying to invest in them in every way and give them every opportunity possible. And so if anybody, if you feel free, if you feel moved, to donate to the program, please click the link. The link is going to be taken down on Thursday. And so in these next couple of days, if you feel moved to donate, please help us out on that end. And we will be grateful for it. Our kids will be grateful as well.
Thank you so much. Again, head coach Jerricho Cotchery, longtime NFL great, Jets legend, and as he's known now by kids that were born in 2007, Coach, as we bring it here on the show. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate you.
Oh, man, thanks again for having me on.
I think we're about to have another legendary call here. I wasn't even aware that this caller I'm about to bring on had talents that expanded to this level. Hep joins us on the show with the guitar. Hep?
Hey, fellas. Okay. Boy Green Daily, we're talking Jets. We are the best. Forget the rest. We're up to date. We're going there. Super Bowl's coming, so all beware. Yeah.
Wow. Good Hep. Unbelievable. Whoa. Hep, I didn't even know you could play guitar in a song. That's historic. We're cutting that up. That's going out on social media. There's no doubt about it. Well, that's going on YouTube. Oh, my goodness, Hep. Wow, you're a talented man, even more than we all thought.
Thanks, Paul. Hey, I love you guys, man. I love staying in touch. You know what? Really embrace this, guys, because this is our Super Bowl year. Mm-hmm. Embrace each little moment, all the little struggles, because at the end, it's going to be glorious. It's going to be glorious. And, all right. I love you guys. See you later.
I love you. Wow. That was so cool, Hep. Holy friggin' crap. All right, everybody. A shout out to Jerricho Cotchery. Thank you so much to, again, a longtime NFLer, a Jets legend, of course, joining us on the show. He's terrific. I love Jerricho. And let me tell you the backstory real quick. The phone lines, by the way, are open. It's a pinned comment on YouTube. Let me tell you the story. You're not going to believe it. And why Jerricho is on the show. So I'm at my fantasy draft on Friday night. Okay? This is a true story. Okay? I'm at my fantasy draft on Friday night. And I'm in the middle of the draft. We're eating some food. We're doing some drinking. And my phone goes, ba-ding. And it was sitting on the table, but I'm not really on my phone. We're enjoying the atmosphere, we're enjoying the environment. And I audibly say out loud when I look at my phone, Jerricho Cotchery. Jerricho Cotchery texted my phone. But I just, how the room was set up. There's 12 people in our draft, so there's 6 tables. It's person. Like I'm staring across at another person. And I audibly say out loud, out of surprise, like, Jerricho Cotchery. And the guy across from me says, Jerricho Cotchery has your number, basically? And I was like, yeah, I guess so. And anywho, so we go right to the phone. And Jerricho, for those who don't know, he's a college football head coach now. He is known as Coach Cotchery. And he is the head coach at Limestone University. Again, we have a link down below in the YouTube description that you can donate to his football program. That link closes tomorrow as he's, rallying fundraiser. He had a fundraiser last weekend, and he reached out to me, Jerricho Cotchery, said, hey, Paul, can you help spread the word? And in my head, I'm still like, Jerricho Cotchery has my number? Like, I know we had him on the show a couple years ago, and we interacted, not in person. I've never met Jerricho in person, but we interacted. And then all of a sudden, it just hit me. I was like, wow, that is cool. Well, you've made it when Jerricho Cotchery is texting you. That's for sure. Good Lord have mercy. So shout out to Jerricho. I wanted to get him on the show as soon as possible. And thank you to Jerricho Cotchery for joining us. And a lot of great conversations will come up, some of those clips here on the show. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. Before we go any further, I saw we had a member in the middle of our conversation with Jerricho. So let me go back up to that real quick. I saw it was MFC, our guy. All right, scroll. Okay, let me see if we can get here. I know I saw that membership. Ah, there it is, baby. MFC, mother underscore effing underscore Jew. Phil M. There was only one membership. Although, thank you. Thank you kindly. MFC, it's actually only one membership at this point. And again, shout out to Phil M. Although last night, in my last fantasy football draft of the season, basically, we had several people in our fantasy football league last night that were Coffee Club members, and we had several that were not, but they're all Jet fans. So I said, hey, guys, if you want to join the Boy Green Coffee Club, feel free to do it. You guys can join, and we're going to talk trash about the fantasy football and Jets and everything else. Like, it'll be terrific. So you guys should check it out. We had several members join last night, but for whatever reason, their little membership things, just like here for MFC, popped up, but they're no longer there for whatever reason. So shout out to all those individuals. I should have taken like a screenshot or something. Yeah, Valentin was on there. JR was on there. There's a couple others, though. Sorry that those didn't pop up, but those are all members as well. So we should be 39 members away from the Imamji, which, oh, wait, baby, before we get to the phone lines, Uncle Tio with a 5-piece combo. Now we can loop that draft chime, baby. Let's not cheat the system. And for those who are new to the channel, we play the draft chimes every time an angel gets their wings. And also when we get a new member to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Shout out to Uncle Tio with a 5-piece combo. Monica Alacone, KG131, Kaz, maybe Brian Costello has joined us, Dre Day, the Jets fan, and Fierce Grimm. You are all now new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. That gives you a loyalty badge. It unlocks all the cool custom emojis that Snowball's made for a lot of us, plus access to the Discord channel where we talk Jets, where we talk a little bit of everything, quite frankly. Jets, fantasy football, NFL, man. I live streamed a college football game last night. That goes in the chat. Every video that goes live goes in the chat. It's a way for all of us to kind of rally as a community and get together. By my math, that should bring us to 34 members away from the Imamji. We had MFCs, we have these 5, and we also, I checked the number before the show, and the show number before the program was 40, and that is 6. That should take us to 34 members, baby. And guys, we're so close. We just have to push it over the goal line on one of these shows to get it there. If you want to punch in your own ticket to the Boy Green Coffee Club, that is in the YouTube description down below. There is, words and one of the bullet points. It says, join the Boy Green Coffee Club here. Click that link. You punch your own ticket in and become a member. You can also gift a membership, just like Uncle Tio did. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a little money sign by the comment section. Click that. The final option, several options will pop up. It says gift memberships. Click that final option on the bottom, and you could gift 1, 3, 5, 10, or 50, baby, a 50 spot perhaps. Like I said, we're 34 members away. That would be terrific to get to those 34 members so we can unlock the Imamji, which would be absolutely terrific. Okay, while we're waiting for hopefully more memberships and things, and shout out to Jerricho Cotchery. And by the way, I have one more tease. We have a superstar guest also joining us this week. Not to put any shame on Jerricho. Jerricho was great. But we have one more superstar guest to get to this week. I've never had him on the show. And to be honest, this individual has an absolute impact on my career, and it's the reason that I'm even here today. So look forward to that. FL Phil says, Boy Green, you missed a super chat from Betcha. No, I did put that up on the screen during the Jerricho Cotchery interview, but I can pop that back up right now. Thank you to Badshaw for that. I did pop that up during the Jerricho Cotchery interview, but I'll give that even more love because it is a cool story, and I'm glad, and I want to make sure that we get to it. So let me pull that one up. Here it is. So thank you, Phil, for that. Brandon Badshaw, during the interview with Jerricho Cotchery, we put this on the screen, but Good Morning Coffee Club and Jerricho Cotchery. Although the one thing I did cheat Mr. Badshaw here with was this.
Wow.
Of course, we got to get one of those in for every super chat. Brandon Bradshaw says, "Good morning, Coffee Club and Jerricho Cotchery. My favorite Jet. Wearing my Cotchery jersey today. Y'all have me too hyped for a Wednesday, baby." Again, he's one of my favorite New York Jets of all time. A great representative of the New York Jets. Tough as nails. I remember, and if you go back, this is my second time ever interviewing Jerricho Cotchery. If you go back to the first one, I remember playing a few. It may have been only one. It may have been a few, but it was at least one. I played a play from Jerricho Cotchery's career that I loved, and me watching it, him watching it, and the play happening, and him walking us through it. It was the Cleveland Browns game where it seems like he hurt something, and he's kind of limping around, and Mark Sanchez finds him, and he goes from limping old man, not old man, like limping injured to, and he makes this crazy diving one-handed catch for a conversion while hurt. And you're like, what the hell? And it was pretty cool. Speaking of that guy, let's go to him. Badshaw joined us here on the show. And look at that. He's in the jersey.
Oh, yeah. I had to get it out. I had to get it out last night. Last year, my wife was like, "We're going to New York." And I was like, all right, we got to get jerseys. So my wife's favorite player is Quinnen Williams, and mine's Jerricho Cotchery. So anyway, I was like, back in the day, I used to try to do the whole, like, create your own jersey, and I would try to put, like, Sean Ellis's name on it, and it would kick you out on the website. Like, you had to buy well, I was like, I'm going to try Cotchery, and it worked. So anyway, but I'm telling you, dude, I love me some Cotchery, and the play you were talking about, I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong on that, but I actually had to watch the video last night of him making that catch. But I'm pretty sure the game was on the line too. Like, I want to say that, I can't remember. We played Cleveland and we played Detroit that year, and they were both games where I know one of the games went to overtime, and one of them I think we beat them right before the end of the fourth quarter.
And you're forgetting one more. There were 3 games essentially all back-to-back. The Texans game where the Jets were there. Yeah, see? So the Texans game, we're up by $1 billion. And then somehow Texans come back. We're like, oh, no, they're going to blow this. And then last-second touchdown, Santonio Holmes magic. And, of course, some Jerricho Cotchery and everyone else action was in that game. You have the Cleveland one, which you're talking about, which was that player Jerricho, and then Santonio Holmes with seconds left. It almost ended in a tie, and he catches the slant and gives an ole and walks into the end with like 12 seconds left in overtime. There's that one. And then the Detroit one where it was Santonio Holmes like hit like a 50 yarder, and then like he just like they Chihuahua tackled him and he fell down to the ground. And I believe we got a field goal to win that one. Yeah, that was like 3 games back to back. Talk about like cardiac arrest happening in that game. It was crazy.
It was, and I remember because I think like Detroit, that was around the time. I think they had Matt Stafford at 2009. So Detroit was kind of like coming up from being a terrible team, and so we came out and beat them, and I think everybody was like, well, golly, they barely beat the Browns and they barely beat the Lions, and then, hell, we got in the playoffs, and, the rest is history. I really think one of the best days of my life was when we beat the Patriots. I mean, and one of the worst days was when we lost to the Steelers. I sat on my couch and cried. It was terrible. But I'm telling you, we've got a good receiving core this year. But my favorite trio of receivers will always be Holmes, Braylon Edwards, and Jerricho Cotchery. I'm telling you, that was a good little underrated receiving tree we had. I love that. I love those guys. They were all when Braylon carried. Braylon Edwards when he carried New England, the receiver in the end zone and whatnot in the New England game. Oh boy, that was great.
Oh yeah, that's the flight crew, baby. When you saw it when I talked with Jerricho, when I just mentioned the flight crew, he started smiling. He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that flight crew, baby," which is awesome. By the way, real quick, FL Phil 98 getting in on the gifting membership section. Let's play those chimes.
Number 3.
Oh, number 3. Oh, okay, not number 3. Number 1.
Hey, after we get that Imamji, Phil 98. I'm thinking of like a. Somebody in the chat said it the other day. William Shakespeare. I think we need to get maybe that could be the next emoji after Imamji. I don't know who came up with that. I'm not taking credit for it. That was hilarious. Whoever put that.
Because I was thinking you're right. Again, the Imamji would be awesome, and that emoji's already made, and that looks great. But I think you're right. I've been thinking about, because it's been cool that these emojis, and by the way, real quick, Matthew Serino, you were gifted a membership to the Boy Green Coffee Club. So welcome to the show, baby. I appreciate you. But no, when we've been thinking about these emojis to kind of immortalize some of the great callers into the show, I said, damn, what do you do for Phil? You need to do something poetry, something. And I was trying to rack my brain around. But now that you've just said that, William Shakespeare, something, Snowball has all the creativity in the world. I think that's the ticket. Man, now I'm excited. Yeah. We need to get enough members for this Imamji. Do that one, which is great. And then we got to immediately get the member. Now we just have a plan for the next 20 members here. I love that one. That one's good. It's juicy.
Oh yeah, I definitely like FL Phil's poems. They're amazing. And I was gonna tell you. So when I first started watching your show, I think it was suggested to me on Facebook on that Heavy On.
Yes. Yep.
So I started watching the channel where you had the, intro, and you had me when something in the intro said my favorite player of all time, Jerricho Cotchery, or something like that. And I was like, okay, I'm watching this channel. This guy knows what he's talking about. So
that's awesome. That's so cool.
Hey, I appreciate you getting him on here. A lot of us Jets fans, we look forward to people like him, being on the show. And I know you work hard to get these people on the show. And I appreciate you, brother. Happy Hump Day.
All right. Thanks, pal. And represent that J-Co jersey, baby. Come on. We have to play it for him. Jerricho Cotchery, represented by Badshaw. Yeah, that William Shakespeare. Snowball's going to have a lot of fun with that emoji. I'll make sure I get that idea over to Snowball. But again, we have to get the Imamji first. That's the first one here. And I believe on that math, we are 33 away now after FL Phil 98's gifted membership. And if we get some action, I will try to contribute to the gifting of membership. So again, we're 33 away. It's only $2.99 a month for anyone that's in the chat that's enjoying the show and like to punch in your own ticket. Again, you can do so in the YouTube description down below. Just join the Boy Green Coffee Club here. Click that. Or you guys can gift the membership if you're watching on YouTube. The money sign and gift as many memberships as you're comfortable with. 1, 3, 5, 10, or 50 as far as I'm concerned. Again, we're 33 away. If we can get some more juice, I will try to do my part of contributing as well. We'll see if more action can happen here. Again, week 1 is just around the corner, folks. Today's Wednesday. We have Thursday night football tomorrow. That is sick. I can't believe it. We have Friday night football. I'm just so happy. I'm like, good Lord, have mercy. Oh, man, football is back, baby. Okay, we got several calls. Let's get to it. All right, let's go to Johnny Boy up next. What's up, Johnny?
What up, BG? Yo, awesome interview, bro. My dumbass was up there trying to type live, asking questions.
No, it's okay.
Everybody was like, yo, it's taped.
I will say, but I said the same thing before I saw Phil's thing. I saw it like question. I was like, "Oh, good question." I wish I would have gotten that to him. So with Jerricho and our other big guest that's joining us this week, I have to fit them in small windows. Jerricho had he's coaching now, which was funny. So like when he reached out, he was like, "Hey, can we do it before practice?" And I was like, "Practice? All right, we can do it before practice." So I had to do. That's why we didn't have Boy Green meets Woody yesterday. He said, the only time we can do is 3:00." I'm like, well. Jerricho Cotchery Woody. Sorry, Woody. I got to plug in Jerricho Cotchery here. This is the only time he could do. So we had Jerricho and the other big secret surprise guest, same sort of thing. He could only do it at a very weird time that's not 7:30 in the morning. So I went, okay, let's see if we could do it. So, yeah. But I love the question too. I agreed with Phil. That was a great question, man.
Yeah, I always like to ask that question to see what players they model themselves up, especially a player like him.
Yeah.
Like around our time, that you could be like, all right, this dude, like,
who was his guy? Who was he looking at? Right, 100%.
So and then just see like what players he thinks right now kind of model like him and one, because he was a big dude, bro. I mean, he was like over 200 pounds, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, let me see.
And that catch you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I remember that play, man. Like, it was right over the middle, one-handed. Like, you knew he was gonna take a hit with it too, and that dude was a dog, man. So what a great.
He played the game right. Yeah, he listed at 6'1", 205 pounds. So yeah, he was a load, and he was always in great shape too.
Yep. So I mean, he was a pro's pro, man. Definitely. Especially like even off the field, like you never heard anything in regards to them.
No.
I was so sad when we let him go, and to see him in other jerseys was just so weird, bro.
It's disgusting is what it was. Jerricho Cotchery should have never played for another team. Now, shout out to Jerricho. So he leaves the Jets, right? He plays for two teams. He plays for the Steelers. He plays for them for 3 years, and he plays for the Panthers for 2 years. His final year in the league, he got a chance to play in the Super Bowl. He was on that Panthers team that played the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. So I'm happy for him that he got that chance. Unfortunately, they lost. That Panthers team should have won that Super Bowl. But yeah, it's disgusting that I look at this bio and there are all these years with other teams. It just it hurts me greatly.
Yeah, and I mean, so I say that to say this. How about MC2, baby, getting signed yesterday, extended? What? JD, man. I mean, I get it. I know the whole Hassan Reddick situation. Yes, I blame both sides for it and everything. But I mean, what he's telling people is like, you stay in house, I'm gonna take care of you. Don't go on a podium and say, I'm not giving you the hometown discount, double check, or whatever it is that, other people that I won't name said. So I just could imagine inside the locker room and be like, all right, bet, JD's going to take care of me. JD's going to try to go ahead and do what he said he was going to do from the very beginning. So hopefully, we get a Hassan Reddick sighting inside of the actual location today, and he's there, because I think today's the deadline, ain't it?
I believe so. I believe today is the deadline for him to get his week 1 game check. So yeah, the pressure certainly on. And I'm glad that you mentioned MC2, because obviously we had the pre-recorded Jerricho Cotchery interview, so I haven't gotten a chance to talk about it. But I didn't realize this till someone tweeted it last night. So Joe, this is the first draft pick that Joe Douglas has signed to a multi-year deal. And I didn't think about that because, like, Ashton Davis has come back, obviously, on a 1-year deal, but on a new multi-year extension, this is the first time it's happened. So I'm so happy for MC2. We were just talking about Jerricho, where he's an easy guy to root for. You love it. You loved it when he was here. For MC2, I was a little worried. Obviously, we're getting into the season. He's entering the last year of his deal. And the sneaky thing with this is that the Jets – it was probably impossible for the Jets to franchise tag Michael Carter II because, there's no designation difference between slot corners and primary boundary corners. So if they franchise tagged him, they would have had to pay him like $8 million more than the top of his market, which they wouldn't have done. So they were screwed if they let him go into the season. And I was really, really worried. We all said it, to be honest. I give all of us fans credit. Like, he got the exact deal all of us said. Just give him the DJ Reed contract. 3 years, $33 million. He's the new highest paid slot corner in football, and you retain this awesome-ass guy. And that's exactly what they did last night. They did that exact contract. So I'm so happy for Michael Carter the second. He's a A-plus human being, easy guy to root for. What a great find by Joe Douglas, a fifth-round draft choice turning into what he's turned into. And I'm happy he's going to be here for the foreseeable future, man.
BG, so with that being said, who would you say is going to get the franchise tag? I mean, would it be JJ possibly, and then they try to, get the other guys on there, or because I know he could be one of the players to get that, being a first-round pick in the whole nine.
Well, yeah, luckily for him, we still have a couple more years, so we won't need the franchise tag for next offseason. He's still under contract for the next couple of years, and plus you'll have the fifth-year option too. But free agents for next year, here's the list of guys. And now that you remove Michael Carter, again, I just have a huge sense of relief. Here are the guys. Hassan Reddick. I'm not using the franchise tag on Hassan Reddick. Goodbye. After this year's over, go play for somebody else, buddy. Maybe I'll feel differently after he has a crazy amount of sacks when he plays for the Jets this year. DJ Reed, that one's probably unlikely. You have Mike Williams. Let's see what the year is. You have Tyler Conklin. You have Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses, Javon Kinlaw. I'm kind of going through here. And then, like I said, Michael Carter was the really, really big one, but now he's removed from the puzzle. And Tony Adams is a restricted free agent, so you have him for dirt cheap. I mean, I guess I shouldn't rule it out completely. If Reddick has some 20-sack season, maybe they could tag and trade him, or maybe they use that for a deal. But, I don't know. I'd have to see what the franchise tag number is for tight end next year for Conklin to see if that is at all the conversation. But that one just makes you feel a lot better as I look at all the Jets free agents. Maybe they don't use it at all, but that one was tough because I wasn't sure how they were going to use it.
Yo, BG, well, last thing I'm going to say this, and I'm going to head out.
Sure.
I heard in your draft last night, somebody drafted Mike White, one out of all the quarterbacks, number one quarterback in your league.
Yeah.
Truth to this?
No, I don't believe so. If someone did, I wish they did, because that would have been better for my fantasy team because more guys would have fell to me. I thought for the most part, again, this is the only league I play in that is all that I think I play in that is all Jet fans. So I'm like, damn, are we about to get some crazy? Or is someone going to draft someone crazy first overall, like a Mike White or something, or who knows what? And no, for the most part, people, drafted who they drafted. And then every once in a while, maybe a few Jets went higher because we all know the Jets. But no, it was a pretty fun draft last night. And shout out, a lot of the people that are in that draft that weren't a Boy Green Coffee Club member all kind of coming over, it looks like. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome, bro. Hey, are you one of the guys that does not draft anybody in our division, like myself? Even though, I know that, Josh Allen is there.
Which, by the way, real quick, you mentioned the name Boo K-Brock, who took Josh Allen incredibly early, and I booed loud. I don't know if he heard me. Oh, there he is. Yeah, K-Brock is popping in the chat. I booed him. Now, no one could hear me. I was by myself at the radio station, but I vociferously booed when he took Josh Allen. There's no question about it. I don't think he heard me, but I did boo.
That's awesome. Hey, brother, awesome stuff, man. I really, really look forward to your stuff in the mornings, man. This was awesome. Shout out to the coffee crew. You guys already know what time it is. And hey, 7:30, Boy Green Daily. If you have not subbed up, if you're not smashed a like, or how about you go ahead and join the actual club himself, and you could be with us in the Discord having some awesome conversations and being able to see people drafting Mike White. So, but hey, I appreciate you, man. Keep doing your stuff, brother.
Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate you calling in the show. And also, I'd like to give a shout out to Nick Faria. You'd be like, "Well, Paul, it's Wednesday. Where's Nick Faria?" Well, I reached out to Nick and said, "Hey, Nick, Jerricho is really trying to promote his program. He really wants to be on ASAP. Would it be okay if I slide you to Thursday?" And he went, "Of course." So shout out to Nick Faria, who slid to Thursday. To make this happen. I really, really appreciate that. All right, guys, we have 600 people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, spread the good gospel of Boy Green Daily, baby, and keep those memberships flowing. Again, I believe we're 33 members away from Imamji as of today, but sometimes those numbers increase once we get to a new day because memberships can expire after they're gifted. So right now, we're 33 away. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got NY Jets FL in the middle of a Rocky montage video workout here. How we doing, pal?
Morning, Paul. Just about to warm up a little bit. So,
Okay. Can you show us your technique? What do you do? How do you warm up?
oh, just some a lot of stretching, a lot of just a lot of. I'm doing back and biceps, so just a lot of stretching. And when you get 59 years old, your joints start to they don't hurt, but it takes a little bit longer to warm up. So just I don't want to hear my bones creaking when I work out, so I'm trying to avoid that too much. So
Do you have like a personal trainer, or do you do all your own stuff there?
no, I used to work out really a lot. I used to do a lot of heavy lifting, but now I'm just do like maintenance, like chin ups, push ups, um, running, walking, all that stuff. And I have a physical job, so it all ties together. At this point too, it's more about your diet. I believe, you just have to try to eat as healthy as you can, on top of the
Wow.
workout.
Well, shout out to Mrs. NY Jets FL, because she's got a perfectly sculpted man of her choice. So wonderful. Yeah.
Uh, Thank you, Paul. I try to tell her that every day, but she doesn't listen to me on that one. So maybe you could tell.
I will. I will do. Yeah.
Paul, I think I'm not saying we're being negative, but we're acting like 49ers are gods. They're another
That's what I see
team.
from Allen. That's not to interrupt you, but that's what I see from Allen. He's just talking in there like it's an inevitability. He's the only one that can see the light. All the rest of us apparently are wearing green colored glasses. Like, the 49ers are human. My dad was the one who went on that crazy rant on one of the days I was with them in New Hampshire, where they had like a 3, 4, 5 game where it was 3 or 4 games lost in a row, and then they looked awful in like a 6-pack a game. They're human. It's not like they've gone undefeated for every season the last 20 years. And to my dad's point, they haven't won a freaking Super Bowl since the 1994 season, the year of 1995. So let's stop pretending like they can walk on water and we're peasants and we got to bow down to them and kiss their feet. Screw them, as Rick Ryan said. I'm not kissing their non-existent rings. Screw those bastards.
All right, I'll end my call now because you said everything I had to say.
Jeez, I mean, come on, man.
No. I mean, like, especially, they're coming off a Super Bowl loss.
Mm-hmm.
You have Trent Williams coming off a he may not, I know he's not going to be in football shape. So we got our speedy little pass rushers coming in there. Brock Purdy, to me, is good. He's a system quarterback. I don't know how great. I mean, last Super Bowl, you saw he had to be rogue, and he had to make plays, and he didn't make enough. So with our defense and McCaffrey coming off his calf, you don't know how. I mean, he could be on a pitch count for all we know. They're there for They can't afford to lose him. So I don't know how healthy he really is.
Yeah, I don't either, man. Everyone is assuming, yeah, he's back. He was back in practice. Like, here we go. A calf, not practicing for weeks, not playing in the preseason. Now, not playing in the preseason is fine. Obviously, almost every Jet of importance didn't play in the preseason, but the not practicing for weeks, interesting. It's something certainly worth keeping an eye on. And by the way, NY Jets FL, are you on Twitter?
I actually am, but I don't really use it. But
okay.
What's up?
Well, yesterday, after the news broke, so it was after the show, but after the news breaks that Trent Williams is back, I tweet out something to the effect of, great, a out-of-football shape guy protecting the blind side of Brock Purdy, sign me up. And I was immediately destroyed on social media. Out of shape? What are you, an idiot? What do you think he's been doing, eating donuts? And I said, people, reading is an important function in today's society. Out of football shape. There's nothing. I'm sure he was working out. I wasn't talking about out of shape. And you just said it earlier. There's a difference between being out of shape and out of football shape. The out of football shape is you have to do football activities. There's no way to simulate that from your house. Being around your teammates, going through all those grinds and things so you are prepared for the football season. And I'm like, I'm not deleting this tweet, despite people telling me, oh, delete it, you're an idiot. I'm like, I'm going to now double down on it and say, people, you're getting a 36-year-old that has less than 6 or 5 days, because they're still hammering out the details of his contract. He had 6 or 5 days to prepare for week 1. Again, he's a phenomenal left tackle, but there's going to be some football rust, which I fully am looking forward to taking advantage of. But yeah, people were not very happy with me, pal. Not very happy.
I agree with that, Paul. I mean, I think by the fourth quarter he'll be gasping for air. I mean, I just I mean, that kind of, like you said, that kind of fitness level is not attained. They may take them a few games to get back into shape. I know people are worried about Rodgers, but the offenses are generally behind in the beginning of the season. They're a little bit behind, so
Right.
I will take our defense against anybody.
Damn straight.
I really think the UFAs, you're going to see a lot from them Monday, and I think the fact that Reddick is not there is part of the reason why I think the confidence level is high in these young players. So let's see, let's see what happens Tuesday morning. But I'll put this out there. I think we're going to win by double digits. But we'll see what happens.
Woo-wee. There we go, baby.
Maybe-
Put it down. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe I'll look stupid Tuesday, but that's okay. I've said stuff before which came back to bite me. Everyone has.
Okay, I'm going to remember this. We're going to remember this, pal. When next week comes, I'll remember when I'm doing the post-game show at like 1 a.m. I will be screaming to the high heavens, look at who foretold all of this.
I think we could do 5 or 6 sacks that night. I really do. I think you're going to see a
yeah,
lot
baby.
of heat on defense. So I'll let you be, Paul. You have a lot to do, and I have to warm up my old body. So you have a great day.
All right, you too, pal. NY Jets FL joining us here on the show. That is terrific. All right. Well, we got a lot of callers here. Let's keep going. Let's go to our next one. And oh no, he's done it again. Ah, jeez. Jeez. It's one thing. Like, who stole the Jets hat? Was it Bromac? Was it C-Mac? Did one of those steal the hat? What is this? What is this? Yankees garbage? What is this? Oh, yeah. Of course, obviously this is Yankees Daily. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's Boy Green Daily. Talking all things New York Jets, not New York Yankees. What's going on here?
Good morning, Paul. First of all, before I explain myself,
okay,
I just want you to know that I'm assuming you watched Jake Ashman's show yesterday, right?
I did not see it, unfortunately.
Well, my brother C-Mac made 2 appearances on the
2? Does he hate me or something? Why hasn't he been coming on this show?
Well, I don't know. C-Mac feels like he's not appreciated enough on this show.
Appreciated enough?
Yeah.
What?
But C-Mac was on Jake's show twice yesterday, and he has some foul. He says a little bit of foul language. And Jake had to check him a little bit.
Sure.
But, but I apologize for my brother's, inappropriate, expletives.
Sure.
C-Mac grew up in the different side of the tracks. He grew up in a more of a household.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah,
sure.
But enough of C-Mac.
Sure.
This is your original, you truly B-Mac.
Oh, gee, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Sure.
Now, for the Yankees, look, I thought you was a New York sports guy. What are you? Are you a Boston Red Sox fan?
I mean, I am, but I don't talk about that a lot on the show for obvious reasons. It's not like I do a show about that or anything, but which I don't. But no. Like the New York Knicks when they're in the I'm a Celtics guy too. I know that's going to make people very angry, but when the Knicks are doing their thing on their own, I'm like, oh, cool, Knicks. My radio partner's a Knicks fan. Terrific. That's great to see. You love to see it. That's awesome. But the New York Mets when they're doing things. So last time I checked, last night they're like half a game out of the playoffs. Like, okay, New York Mets, tip of the cap. The Yankees, come on, man, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it's kind of weird to be a Jets fan and a Red Sox fan at the same time, right?
Blame my parents. Blame my parents. My father was born in Gatineau, Mass. My mother was born in Rhode Island. They're both from New England. Hey, Massachusetts boy. How do you walk out of your house with that? I'm surprised you haven't been slugged or mugged yet and did your wallet stolen for wearing that Yankees garb in Beantown.
Yeah. Well, I don't live in Boston. I live 3 hours from Boston.
But still in Massachusetts, do you not?
Yeah, I'm still in Massachusetts, but I'm not in. I'm not deeper in the Lions Den. You know what I mean?
So wait, let me get this straight. When you walk out of your house, there are other fellow Yankees fans going, "Yeah, B-Mac, my guy." High fives. Come on, that's not.
I mean, there's some New York people, New York sports fans where I live at. There's a couple. You know what I mean? But anyway,
Sure. Go ahead. We can let's get to your questions. Let's get to your points.
Yeah. Well, first of all, do you think today's day that Hassan Reddick finally shows up and this headache?
I have not seen the details of Michael Carter II's contract, but from what I've heard from other people, is that the money they created, in case you missed it late last night, what started all of this is Field Yates tweeted out that the Jets adjusted the contract of Quincy Williams and Tyler Conklin, creating $8 million in cap space. So let's play math real quick, folks. If I had a chalkboard, I would write it up there for you. So the Jets had $6 million in cap space on their own. Hassan Reddick did not report. So his $14 million is cap space for the Jets because he's not on the roster technically right now. He's at home. So you combine the $14 million with the $6 million they already had. The Jets, before last night, had $20 million in cap space. They made an additional $8 million. So all in all, right now, September 4th, they have $28 million. And that could only lead you to believe, why would they create randomly $8 million? For what reason? Again, I have not seen Michael Carter II's contract. Maybe it's front-loaded, and that's why. That could be the reason. But if it's not, it's likely indicates some sort of move coming with Hassan Reddick. I know nothing. I'm just making speculation and connecting dots and things of that nature, so I don't know. But yes, as Alan says here, I'm aware of MC2's deal. It's a 3-year deal, $30 million change, max value $33 million, $19 million guaranteed. But I don't know how it's set. Is that front-loaded where all that money's coming out of this year or the future or what have you? So long story short, do that math, people. I am just saying that there is a chance that Hassan Reddick shows up. I know nothing. I'm just leaving it to the gods. If he shows up, great. I think they'll have a pass rush role for him. If he does not, then we're going to ride it out with the Tack McKinleys and Michael Clemens and Will McDonald's and all these guys, and let's see if we can do it.
Yeah, well, I think the Michael Carter news last night was great news.
I agree.
For once, so I think you should be happy that JD finally got that done, and Buddy's off. He's definitely one of the most underrated slot corners you could say in the league.
Sure.
So I think that was huge. And hopefully that's a sign that they are figuring something out with Reddick.
Fingers crossed.
But if Reddick does come in today, like let's say if he does, can he still play on Monday?
I believe so. I believe now he's not going to be a full participant. That would surprise me if he played 100% of the snaps, but they rotate anyway. I think it's going to be. I think you could give him 10 to 15 pass rush snaps on third, and let me rephrase that. Obvious passing down situations on third and long. When it's like 3rd and 10, they're not running the ball. So like you could put Hassan Reddick in there and just say go sack Brock Purdy. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. Okay. And then my second one, of course, is going to be about this man.
Yes, I have that book right here. Yeah, right behind me. Great book.
Yeah. If you, I just want to call out you. Before I, say what I'm going to say, I just wanted to give a warning to the people in the chat. If you don't want to hear me talk about Rodgers, leave the chat or mute me or mute the show.
Yeah. Actually, don't leave the show. We need to keep the lights on. Absolutely, do not advocate for people to leave. They can mute, I guess, if they want, but don't leave, please. More people come in. By the way, right now we have 620 people in the room right now, live, watching you speak. So,
yeah.
Okay,
now,
go ahead.
Yeah. Now, are you? I know there's a lot of Jet fans are gonna be having PTSD. Uh, about when Rodgers goes out there and takes his first his first game back and how in 2 years. Are you how? And I'm just talking just straight to you. How nervous you are about Rodgers in this game or this year? I mean, what you
Zero. I will go to what Jerricho Cotchery said. This is a quote I'll pull later for a shorter clip. Jerricho Cotchery said that this Jets team, you're speaking to him, should have zero trepidation heading into the season about what happened last year. He said, what happened last year is last year. This is a new year. That's how I feel about it. We'll be I don't know if nervous is the right word. I'm sure there's some emotion. I can't really put myself in that headspace. I will be by myself as it's currently constructed. Maybe I'll go out to the bar. I'm not sure. But I plan on watching it from the comfort of my own living room, probably by myself. My family will probably be asleep by then. And I don't know what emotions will be running through my head, but I just want to see it. I just want to see him throw a pass. I want to see him go through a drive and things of that nature. So nervous, maybe that is the word. I don't know, but I'm excited for it. So I'm not scared. I'm not like, oh no, as soon as he steps foot on the field, he's going to get hurt again. Nah, I don't have any of those emotions whatsoever.
So just because he played 4 snaps last year, it doesn't mean it's going to happen this year.
Exactly right. And just because people think terrible things happen to the Jets all the time, I don't think that's always the case.
So last year the 4 snaps thing was a fluke.
I think absolutely it was a fluke. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not like because Rodgers in his entire career, it's like he doesn't get hurt in week 1. You know what I mean? It's a entire career. You know what I mean? That was just an Achilles. I don't know. An Achilles is one of the most scariest injuries because you never know what could. Now I do say about this. Do you think he can re-injure his Achilles?
Sure, that's possible.
So if he gets sacked on Monday, do you think the Achilles could re-tear?
It could. I mean, sure. I could get hit by a bus, and this might be the last Boy Green Daily I ever do. That's possible. They're actually doing some construction outside of my house, Final Destination style. I could die in the streets before I get in my car. That's possible.
Can Patrick Mahomes get sacked and tear his Achilles?
Yes.
So a quarterback can get sacked and something happens and their Achilles can explode. I mean, can erupt. So it can happen to any quarterback. That's what I'm trying to say, right?
Sure, Aaron Rodgers is not the first quarterback in history that has ever blown out his Achilles. Yes. The BMAC, the chat does want you to return the Jets hat. I'm just for the vibes. Yes, Phil. I just don't want to talk about the Achilles anymore. I'm cool with anyone. I'm about to go to other callers. You guys can ask me any questions you like, but there's just too much negative juju. Too much vibes there. I just sorry, BMAC. Goodbye. It's just yeah. Wow. All right, anywho, let's go to some other calls here. Ricky, New York Live.
Hey, how you doing, Paul?
Better.
Right? Yeah,
I mean,
we don't need any negativity or injury talk.
No.
Keep that away.
Absolutely.
At any rate, I just called in to gloat because I was, if you recall, I was saying we need to go ahead and sign Michael Carter out of the guys that were up. Now he was the one that I wanted to sign. I was very vocal about that. Unfortunately, yeah, I think DJ Reed's going to be gone because he's going to get paid, as one of the better corners in the league. It's going to be by somebody. It's not going to be by us. I don't know what's going to happen with Conklin. Hopefully he takes a nice, 1-year deal to extend his stay here and stay with Rodgers for another year. But Carter, I think, was the one that we needed to resign. It's really hard to find slot corner that's that good. Outside guys you can find sometimes, but slot guys are harder to find. So I'm glad they got that done. And now time for them to strike again, as I've been saying, out of the guys that are going to be coming up. And say we don't know exactly how Carter's deal looks like right now, but say, like you were saying, where most of it's front loaded, gets it out of the way. Next offseason rolls around, give Brees a similar type contract. Load, get it out of the way now so that he's more affordable down the road. And then we can try to keep all of our core 4 guys together. Because I've said it a bunch of times, like, all the people out there that say, oh, well, you can get a running back in the mid rounds. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You can get a running back in the mid rounds. You can't get that running back in the mid rounds. Brees is special, and you don't let a guy like that walk. And he's the next one on the list we need to take care of, in my opinion, because he wasn't a first round pick, so he'll be up this coming off season. Whereas the other guys, I think, could start negotiating, but really they've still got another year after that.
Correct.
But,
yeah. You have to sometimes, again, I guess the exception, if you want to put it, like Jamar Chase, for instance, he is in the position in this offseason that Garrett, Sauce, Jermaine, and everybody will be in the following offseason, where they can start to talk for the very first time in their careers. Now, Jamar is trying to push it and say, it's not just about talking. We're finishing conversations. That's what he's trying to push. So we'll see if any Jet player decides to do that. But I think you're right. Again, because we don't know I don't know the structure of this Michael Carter deal yet. But there is a path with all the money they seemingly have right now that they could front load the crap out of it, get it out of the way, and he's going to be incredibly cheap. But we'll see. Either way, Michael Carter II, also a guy who wasn't a first-round pick. I'm so happy they locked it in. I was getting nervous. We're about to head into the season, and then Michael Carter II and his agent can smell free agency when the season's over in January, February range. They're like, hey, Jets, you can talk to us with every other team bidding. And I was like, please get this deal done before the season. And I had lost hope days before the season, thought their mind, Joe Douglas and others, were on other things. Clearly it wasn't, thank God. Blessed be he. It's great to have MC2 locked in for the future.
Yes, it absolutely is. I'm real pleased to know that he won't be going anywhere. And, to echo something that Jake Asman has said repeatedly, pay Michael Carter now and show Hassan Reddick, hey, we do pay the guys that are here in the building. So if you want to get paid, get your ass in here. And they did exactly what I wanted and exactly what Jake's been calling for. Pay MC2, and Reddick can see. We do pay guys when they bother to show up.
And it's a great message. Think about that. You saw if you didn't, for the people that didn't see it on social media, every Jets player got out on social media and said, MC2, you deserve this. Guys like Garrett Wilson and so many other Jets, even former Jets. I saw John Franklin Myers saying, I love that he got his money, and everyone's reacting to that. So that's a great sign for the locker room, that if you get drafted here and you do your business, that they're going to take care of you. And they did with Michael Carter II and hopefully many others. So, yeah, to me, great message for Reddick, great message for the Sauce Gardners, Garrett Wilsons, Brees Halls, Jermaine Johnsons, everybody, that they will take care of you. I love that.
I'm curious, was there a tweet like that to Michael Carter from Michael Carter?
I don't think I saw that. I did not.
Which I guess he's on Arizona's practice squad now.
Oh, he got brought back. Oh, great, good for him.
Yeah. So they let him go, and then they brought him back to the practice squad because they drafted a Florida State guy, so they didn't need him anymore. But yeah, man, real quick, we kept the right Michael Carter, and you know what? It kind of astounds me that there's still people defending the other Michael Carter. He had like one or two good runs in Arizona, and people, we should have kept him. No, we did the right the right thing. And these people that are defending him, well, it's too bad we let him go. He was a good teammate. Really? Was he? Blowing up at the coaches multiple times on the sidelines, complaining about wanting more playing time to where it became an ongoing thing. When he wasn't doing jack crap with the playing time he was getting. What, a guaranteed fumble, dropping the pass that gets thrown to him? Like he wasn't making the most of his opportunities as it was, and he's going to bitch that he wants more playing time. But I like Michael Carter. He was funny. Oh,
Yeah.
That shit irritates me. Like, he was funny? Really? Where are you reading that being funny is a prerequisite for being a good football player? I must have missed that.
Yeah.
And I could, you know what? I was worried about that when they did the Hard Knocks thing. You could see, like, here's Rodgers, the cameras are all around him, and then here's Michael Carter just trying to get in the picture all the time. You know what, dude? Worry about catching the damn ball. Worry about not fumbling. Don't worry about being funny. Okay? Maybe you should worry more about trying to look like Barry Sanders instead of trying to be Chris Rock or Kevin Hart or something. He's funny.
Yeah.
No, you sticking up for him, you're funny. At any rate, we kept the right Michael Carter. That's all I have to say. And
Blessed be he.
Very glad. Very glad that we did.
And as am I, Ricky. Thanks for the call. I did not anticipate Michael Carter, Arizona Cardinals running back stray bullets here on the show, but here we are. All right, we have a ton of callers. I'll try to get to as many of you as possible, and then I got to run to the radio station. But Jared B joins us here on the show. He's back for a second time. What's up, Jared?
Alan.
Hey, what's
I'm hearing
happening?
about 3 people talking at the same time.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
I just got a question for you. All those Jet fans in the fantasy draft last night, and how many times you guys passed on Aaron Rodgers?
Too many, probably. He went earlier than I've seen in other. For instance, in this draft, like I still have, I would, it's good. I'll flip over the camera for people who can't see it. So, like, look, I'm looking at. You see all these draft boards here? Like, there's draft boards sitting right there on the floor. They're still from that live fantasy draft I had. And where am I? I could see it. Aaron Rodgers was my second to last pick because I always take a kicker in the last round. So I had him in the 15th round. So I got him super late. So blessed be he. That was terrific. Yeah, man, that was great. But he went a lot earlier in our draft last night.
Yeah, I got him.
Oh, wow. Okay, there you go.
You only have Jaden Daniels as your only quarterback?
I did. That was kind of weird. I'm in 4 fantasy leagues all through the radio station, and I tried to have I picked in different spots, but I tried to have different variety in, like, the players I had. This roster I took last night is, like, the weirdest roster I've had in any of the fantasy leagues. They have a lot of players that I don't have in any of the other leagues. But, yeah, everyone talks about all the fantasy experts say, oh, Jaden Daniels. I'm like, all right, screw it. Let me try out their strategy of having just Jaden Daniels. So we'll see if that works.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing about 10 of you, so I'm going to let you go because I can't even figure out what you said and what's happened about 10 minutes ago. So,
okay.
Have a good one, man.
Yeah, Lord of the Discord joining us. Jared B here on the program. All right, we have time for maybe one more call here. Let's go to EZ here on the show. What's up, EZ?
How you doing, Paul? Can you see me? Oh,
yes.
There I am.
Yeah, I got you.
I wanted to make 4 quick points.
Sure.
People used to complain that Joe Douglas never re-signed the homegrown players. Well, back in the day, he didn't have anybody worth a shit to sign. Now he's got guys worth signing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, there are players that are absolutely worth keeping at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good thing. Now, and my second point is Reddick was in Jersey doing a backpack giveaway for disadvantaged kids.
Yeah, last night. Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's in town, so that's a good thing.
Yes,
that's number
sure.
2.
Yeah.
Number 3, Trent Williams. If they put Trent Williams in, he's rusty. He's in shape. He's working out. But like you were talking about, football shape is way different. He's going to be sucking wind third, fourth quarter. You know that.
Yep.
So we rotate. He doesn't rotate. He's in.
Exactly.
He's staying in.
Yes.
And, he hasn't practiced all season. So what's it going to be like when he sees these young kids flying around him like rocket ships?
It's a good point. Good point. For all the people that were making fun of me for the out of football shape thing, it's to your point. The third or fourth quarter where we're getting fresh edge rushers, 5-10 pass rush snaps off the field, 5-10 pass rush snaps off the field. Like, damn, he's going to be getting the business.
Could you imagine, like, first time where he's got a pass rush, all of a sudden Will McDonald's in there against him?
I like
He's a speed freak. He doesn't bull rush. I mean, he's working on it, but he's speed.
Yeah.
Trent Williams is not going to be able to handle that kind of speed this soon. Give him week 3, week 4. Yeah, he'll be back to his old self. But right now, nope.
Yep, damn straight.
And number 4, Joe Douglas always does the unexpected. Remember I told you this one time? We don't know what goes on in that building, and he always does.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love
those are my 4 points. I want to get on. I want to get off. So then maybe you might even be able to get another caller in because BMAC, damn, boy, holy shit. I'm sitting there. I don't know. You can see us in when we're waiting in the green room.
Yeah.
Did you see me going, get this ass off? I was like,
yeah.
I was ready to strangle him. I love BMAC, but today I wanted to strangle you, BMAC. I'm sorry. You're killing me.
Yeah. The Achilles conversation was too much. It's just too much. Hey, Paul, can my grandma blow her Achilles out? Yes. Can Patrick Mahomes? Yes, I guess. Could Aaron Rodgers? I suppose. But again, I just I don't understand. I don't understand. So, BMAC, wherever you are, let's just cut the Achilles talk out. Again, me personally, Paul Esden Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green, near 700 people in the room, you can ask me, guys, whatever you want. I'm an open book. But, we're a day away from the NFL season opener. We're days away from the Jets stepping on the field. I get it. They're going to talk about it on Monday Night Football. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, when they're up there, they're going to be like, oh, boy, you remember what happened last year? Sure. Adam Schefter podcast. Oh, boy, Leonard Floyd, didn't you sack Aaron Rodgers last year and his leg exploded? Yes. You're going to try to sack him again? Okay, weird. Adam Schefter, very odd, very strange, very bizarre. But again, the fact of the matter is this. Let's manifest positive vibes. Let's try to do that. A couple of things coming up this week. Again, I still have that secret superstar mega guest has never joined me on the show before, and they're the reason I'm sitting here right now. They inspired me. They were my idol. This person's my mentor. Even though we've never spoken before, but we will speak for an interview this week ahead of the New York Jets San Francisco 49ers game. So that is coming up. I can't wait for that. It's going to be an absolute treasure. Appreciate you. We'll be back with Boy Green Meets Woody tomorrow at 3 o'clock. We're going to have a 49ers insider on the show. I'm looking forward to that. We'll have Nick Ferry on the show. He'll be on the program tomorrow. And Woody will be joining us for every Jets game day episode. He'll be coming up on Monday. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, and spread the good gospel of Boy Green Daily. And shout out to Jerricho Cotchery for joining us on the show. We'll see you guys. Peace.